Do you think Seattle winds up getting Hamilton, though? Because
No.
apparently they're making the offer for him.
They can make an offer. I don't see him going there. The best spot for him is to stay with the team that he's at now, and Texas will find a way to work it out. Like I said to Dave, though, I think the best spot for Hamilton to end up is with the Mets. But the Mets, with the Wilpons, the Wilpons just screw everything.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I don't want the Mets signing Hamilton for 7 years.
So you don't want, well, maybe not 7 years.
I don't want it for 7 years. If you get him for 3 years,
no,
I would be.
No. You got to give him at least 5.
No, I would be fine with 3. I think 5's a little too much. He's 32 right now. 5 years, he's going to be 37 at the end of it.
I would give it to him. If I'm the Mets, if you can get a guy that's a potential Triple Crown winner, who's going to bat close to 300, hit you 40 home runs.
I'm going to name 2 reasons right now why I would not do that. The last 2 guys the Mets signed who were at age 32 for 4 or 5 years, Jason Bay and Pedro Martinez. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Pedro Martinez and Jason Bay are not Josh Hamilton. Jason, you can't even put Jason Bay and Josh Hamilton in the same sentence.
These were 2 guys who came over after seasons in their prime, and they gradually reduced to nothing over those 4 seasons. Pedro had the solid first season, and then he was hurt the rest of the contract. Bay didn't even have the solid first season.
I'm just saying, you guys have nobody in the outfield right now.
We have nobody in the outfield, but that doesn't mean we need to bring in a $70 million hole that's going to be there for 5 years.
Right, because... Dude, Hamilton is a 40 home run a year guy. He is a guy that's going to hit in over 100 ribbies. How can you say no to that?
The Yankees need him more.
No.
Yes.
You're right, because with Granderson, Gardner, and Ichiro, we really need Hamilton more than the Mets, who I couldn't even name you one starter in the Mets outfield right now.
If you're relying on Granderson for a whole season, yeah, you're getting 40 home runs, but you're doing it with a 220 batting average. You can't tell me in that...
last year he had a 220 batting average. The year before, he didn't bat 220.
No, he batted 250, if I'm not mistaken.
He batted a little over 250, and then before that, he was batting 280. Again, I'm not worried about Granderson. I'll take Granderson because, yeah, he may bat 220, but if he's going to hit me 40 home runs, I'm okay with that for right now. We got speed. We got enough hitting to where we can deal with Granderson's nonsense.
Listen, I've said it before. I'll say it again. The only person I wanted to see the Mets spend big money on was David Wright. I think taking Josh Hamilton at this point is a mistake. And listen, I get everything you're saying, but I just think the Yankees' offense got exposed in the postseason, hitting 188. You need a guy in the middle of that lineup who, at the very least, is going to hit for a high average.
No, you don't need that.
Our chat room actually is split with you guys. Joey believes that the Yankees signing Hamilton is a good idea because he keeps him more
Hamilton.
relevant.
I'm not saying I don't want him.
And then Miss Rhodes actually agrees with you, Eric, that they don't need him.
No, I'm not. The Yankees don't need him, but if he wants to come and play for us, I'll take it. I'm just saying the best fit for him that I see out there is with the Mets. He doesn't have the pressure of playing for the Yankees. He doesn't have the same media scrutiny, although it's still bad in New York. It's not the same.
I was going to say, you are getting the more scrutiny, but because you're being on the worst team, and arguably he would be getting a higher contract. I'm sure if... In your scenario, if he signs with the Mets, he'd probably be going for more money than Wright has, right?
I would give him a 5-year, $100 million contract. $20 million a year, 5 years. That's what I'm paying. That's what I'm paying
Honestly,
Hamilton.
I think the most I would do for Hamilton is I would give him 3 years guarantee with one of them vesting options for the last 2 seasons. I wouldn't want him guaranteed for the last 2 seasons of that.
But it's the only way you're gonna. He wants a long-term deal. He wants a 7-year deal. Nobody out there is going to give him a 7-year deal. He's already tested that market. But if you could be that team that steps up and says, listen, I'm going to give you 5 where everybody else wants to give you 3 or 4, he probably goes with that 5-year deal. And you can't tell me he wouldn't vastly improve the Mets offense and the Mets outfield.
Yeah, but you're also talking about a team. The fear of the unknown is what would bother me with Hamilton coming to the Mets. You look at the Mets are an organization. Anything that can go wrong does go wrong.
Well, but it's going to go wrong. Listen, the only way you know is by signing the guy. You don't know what he's going to become. So you would rather take your chances on prospects than sign a guy who is a potential Triple Crown winner.
He's a potential Triple Crown winner. He's also another potential Dwight Gooden. He is. And I love Dwight Gooden, but we all know what his career could have been if he didn't go down the cocaine route and all that stuff. Okay? Josh Hamilton, all I've heard all offseason, I would talk to friends of mine and say, the Yankees should get Josh Hamilton. Oh, you can't put Josh Hamilton in New York with all the bars and the drinking and the drugs and all the temptation. My answer was always, you put him on the Yankees can pay for the best psychiatrist and all that stuff. Now you're not talking about putting him on the Yankees, you're talking about putting him on the bad team in New York and giving him the same temptations on the bad team that you got on the good team.
I'm just trying to help you guys improve. That's all.
I get it.
I just don't see how adding Josh Hamilton would hurt the Mets.
Okay.
It hurts.
Let's move it on.
It hurts.
Let's move it on. We're just you guys are repeating yourself at this point. Let's move it on.
I don't know what other points I could possibly make.
No, that's why we're moving it on.
But again, I want to hit something new then.
That's what I mean. That's what I want to do.
No. Without getting on a new topic, give me your opinion, Dave, because me and Mike have been sitting here arguing about it, and you've said nothing. I want to hear, as a Met fan, another Met fan in the room, because I'm surrounded by two of them, how you feel about Josh Hamilton, because
I don't think Josh Hamilton belongs in New York. I think for a guy with the type of issues he has inside his dome, should not be in New York. This is not the area for somebody trying to beat an alcohol and drug addiction. It's not the place to be.
But he travels these cities all year long. So what's the difference if he plays in one half the time?
There's a big difference between living in a city and then traveling to it. There's a big difference. You start find the local bar. It's just a big difference.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to live in New York. He could live in Jersey. He could live in PA.
So what's he going to do? Go live in Hoboken? I mean, come on, dude.
No, but I'm saying we're 25 minutes outside of Yankee Stadium. He could come and live in an area like ours. Plenty of nice houses in Mendham and Chatham.
Yeah, and a whole bunch of alcoholics and drug addicts and all those too. I mean, well, you know
those
what?
Those are all over the country.
Yeah. Look, in my opinion, it's simple as this. I don't think he belongs in New York. That's just my opinion. I don't. When it comes down to it, though, if he went to the Mets, would I be upset? Hell no. Who gets mad about a guy that hits 30 home runs and 100 RBIs?
So where's he going, though?
Me personally, I put in the chat room, and I'll say the same thing. Stay in Texas. Make life easy. Stay in Texas. Stay around your family and your friends and the stability that you have built there already. Because when it comes down to it, look, we all love sports. We all love the entertainment of sports. We all love the competition of it. But these are grown men that have a life to live and have to worry about themselves because the sport's not always going to be there. And for Josh Hamilton, I think being in Texas is the best bet for him as a player and more importantly for him as a human being whenever his career does come to an end.
Well, I think that's eventually where he's going to sign is Texas. I'll just state that.
I'm going to throw one dark horse candidate at you, and I'd like both your thoughts. What if Baltimore makes a run?
No.
Why?
I just think he would sign with Texas before he signed with Baltimore.
I also heard Boston was somebody that was looking at him, too. I mean, everybody's looking at Josh Hamilton.
Let me ask you something. Yeah. We know the last few years Baltimore likes to try to throw the contracts out there. It's not like anybody takes them. But let's say they throw a 7-year, $140 million contract down that the Rangers won't match. You think he takes it or you think he takes less from Texas?
I think he takes that, but I don't think anybody will offer it. So that's why I'm saying.
I think they would be the ones to do it.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, nobody. He's tested the market. There's nobody offering him 7 years. That's why he's gone back to Texas now and started talking with them about a contract. Because nobody will give him 7.
Look, and like I said in our chat room as well, when it comes down to Hamilton, just don't go to Seattle. Do not just dive your career into that place. No, I'm sorry. They're not going to do anything for that team to make it worth him being there. He's going to be on some low-level team collecting money, not making anything else. I'm sorry. Players with his talent level should be on teams that have opportunities to go win championships. That's why my heart breaks for Felix Hernandez. That poor man needs to go play for somebody else because he's just wasting his talent in Seattle. I mean, think about it. He had his perfect game or his no-hitter or whatever this season, and his team still won 1-0. That's a shame. That is a shame. 1-0, and it's 1-0, and your pitcher gave up no hits.
Yeah,
that's a shame. I'm sorry. That one blows my mind. But that's a little bit off the topic. But I think the one place I don't want him to go is Seattle because I think he's too good of a player to go to a team where he's pretty much going to dive bomb his career.